Call me Fuego, 93 like me. Fire in the sheets, spending summers on the sea. Quedo, she no way home. Bev Hill life on the day.
It's not even really slow at this point that they've had on the leaderboard. It just kind of shows that the work that they're able to put on in the early to mid games, especially, and just finding opportunities to make those plays and to do something with it. But, you know, that said, I would like to see another really big show for them in the late game. And I think that, especially with what we saw this match, there's a big opportunity for it in this next Erangel game.
Now, we're getting ready to move into the last game for this group, and I want to let you guys know we will return with the next 4 matches shortly. It has been pushed back an hour, so there will be a break for disinfection and team changes after this match, and we'll be back at 20 KST, 12 CET, and 6 EST. So don't go anywhere. We're going to be around right after this one to get you all settled in for that. A big shout out to Intel for making this possible. They brought the power to the game. And it's going to be a good one. But that said, let's go to our last cast for this group for the night. The dynamic duo, the kings of casting, Matchroom and the Porosaurus with the call.
Thank you, Toffees.
Yeah.
Well, after everything we saw inside that last game, give me your deep analysis on what we should be looking forward to in this round.
Man, take a compound in the center of the circle and then just kill everybody who tries to come and take it from you. Easy peasy.
I mean, let's be real. So many eyes are going to be drawn back over towards 4 a.m. T1 right now. That was just so ridiculous. I loved everything about what was happening inside that round. It was just, I don't know, like just the fact that so many players were just opted in and saying, hey, look, that's it. Let's just get what we can get out of it, and let's see how stylishly we can do it. It was just beautiful to watch.
That's sort of an interesting circle. We haven't been seeing the brutal, crazy circles as much so far in the last 2 days. No real like, disgusting hard shifts. No military circles yet. No, nothing too wheels off. So it's been a blessing for these guys so far. We'll see what this game brings for us here as we check in with 4 a.m. We talked a lot about T1 and that last game and that win for obvious reasons, for great reasons. But you got to also remember 13 points going over to Damwon Kia in that as well, even though they were down to under, just hiding out in the middle of the field. So, Kia just keeps managing to pile onto their lead as we go through these Erangel games here.
Well, also it should be noted, Liquid did manage to cling in and get some points out of that game. So it's always good to see them managing to right the ship just a little bit inside of that. We should be looking back over towards 4 a.m.'s position. They've got TSM just to the north where they're playing from. Center is going to be right along Death Road, running just to the north of where Farm is going to be at. TSG playing back over into that. And you can see Team Liquid do get Pachinki to work from, and they've got it all to their lonesome right now. They do have TSM's 2-2 split that's going to be just to the north of where they're at right now. But this should be pretty clean to be able to get loot and just kind of go wherever they want out of this position.
Form is temporary, class is permanent. I like it. I know it's a fashionable thing to do in chat, to rip on Liquid whenever things don't necessarily go their way, but you know what? They've been having not the best games for sure. I mean, I'm sure they definitely would have preferred better, but they're still finding ways to get points, still finding ways to maintain relevance in the leaderboard. Look at this. Is this the Mad Max medal?
I guess so. They really are after this point right now, and gonna go ahead and hop out of this. So help me if he gets knocked back over towards Lock. No, okay, there we go. They're gonna get the down and the flush onto that one, and then just continue on their merry way. They're going to have Navi as well as Divine back over towards their west. TSG is going to have a couple members scattered up in front of them. Rustamar does finally get dropped out. Here comes the continuing rush through this, as it looks like everybody's starting to try to go for the flushes on it. Squeaky trying to find an angle of approach around this positioning, but it's going to be Triumphant Song Gaming still playing back around the shack and somehow still managing to cut a path, but this hillside is going to be a little bit more problematic as they're going to start bumping into team upon team that is just stacked up in this location.
Just a big blind rotation coming out from Ents. There's no way they could have scouted this out. They're going to find themselves right on top of Long K. Long going to get some support from his teammates. He's got to do some work from here as well. He's going to find the knock on a Diggery. That grenade not going to find its way inside of his shack. Long K going to stay alive for right now, but Tiamba also looking down on top. But mxey going to provide Long K with a little bit of a reprieve. As M200 will have to pull back away.
New circle about to pop in just a second, and that's going to dictate a lot of our action and movement depending on how everything's set up. Looks like everything's going to stay around Death Road, so these teams that are already fortified up on the top of this hillside are going to have a ton of vision to work with on both sides of this hill and the way it's configured. You can see a couple of regroups coming out from our split teams back down both sides of this hill. So now the teams that are out on the outside of this, such as Team Liquid, T1, 4 AM, and K7 are all going to have to make a move.
And K7 already under fire here from 4 AM. 4 AM, though, I don't think they realize that they've got T1 creeping in from their western side, coming in from the back. No lines to be found just yet. Meanwhile, TSM trying to come in from the eastern side of Death Road. They've got Kia hanging out on the top and on the bottom. Indigo and under with that low flank, and Songjong going to find Iroh. That's going to be the first opening down and flush of this fight.
Under's just still got an angle back over towards us, and you can see Indigo creeping back along this positioning, waiting for somebody, TSM, to make a little bit of a peek back towards this. Instead, it's going to be a firm defensive line starting to set up from Kia. Got to be careful as a couple of shots are getting popped, peppered into him from the back side of this one, but it's just going to be Kia starting to play this one a little bit more aggressively, just waiting for the moment that somebody from TSM moves forward and Indigo can take the shots back over towards his kill. Starting to be a little bit of a distraction back up the hillside, but Miraku does manage to connect over towards it. K7 goes out on the outside of this one, but it's going to be Indigo's time to shine. Finds the shots back over towards Miraku, goes back over towards Wookie Bookie, does manage to connect with that one as well. So it is just Bard holding the line back over towards the top of it. Trying to drop back down. Knows the fact that he's got the grenades to work with. It's all a matter of how DWG wants to play this one. They've got the numbers advantage, and they know Bard is in a very weakened position. Finally spots him out, and there you go. The entirety of the East is now opened up for Damwon.
So clean there from Damwon. TSM gave him everything they could handle, got the 2 knocks. Unfortunately, we're not able to get the flushes to go along with them, so no points to be found there. Kia will get those reses up, while Zenith is trying to make their way in from the north side. Doesn't look like they're going to stretch far enough south to be a problem for Kia just yet, though. Meanwhile, T1 still has not opened up, and that's going to change now. And there goes the knock onto Godv. Should get the flush as well, as T1 hanging out just on the outside of the circle here on the northwest.
I love the fact that we can see T1 not overplaying their hand. They've got a ton of positionals that they can work with, getting a lot of information on how they're trying to move through this one. Remember, this is one of the later teams that came through all the way back down from military base. So in no rush to overcommit to any play until they know exactly what they're walking into. Team Liquid is going to be playing back down towards the south of where we see this, but they're kind of caught up looking back in with what's going on with day trade. T1 is instead just going to kind of send it back along this path, hopping inside of vehicles and kind of leapfrog around positionings. Day trade finally gets spotted out, and that's going to be a couple of kills going back over towards Team Liquid. As you can see, T1 just forcing their way into this one, find themselves a little bit of a shack, and it really cuts a path right by 4 AM.
Liquid looking good right now, coming in from the west. They have the low side of Death Road here, sending Ibby and Jeemzz up there first. You know, M200 still hanging out in that shack. I doubt that Liquid is going to pass right by it. They're looking to see if they can find any angle on a T1 right now. The smokes are out, and shots are being sent in there, and Jeemzz going to find Adder. Meanwhile, Xiaolu just ready to strike at any point here. The grenade landing right in the middle of everybody, but it's going to be enough time for him to pop up and find the quick flush.
Oh, but look at this. Liquid's trying to step into this one as well. They want a third-party. Grenade's going to land right over next to Star-Lord's. Going to take down Adder. Good connection back over towards this one. Still creeping back along the hillside, trying to get some more out of this one. That's going to be a quick flush back over towards the side of it. Keep in mind, while we're seeing the push up the hillside, Liquid's trying to be the one to capitalize off of this, but has to play it very, very carefully. They still have Timba that's kind of caught up in a position right in between them. So Jeemzz kind of caught it back, looking in that direction. T1 knows the fact that they're in a ton of trouble. Just Star-Lord is last one up for his squad. Liquid wants this one, but doesn't want to run into the shack and lose one of their members. Clib goes down on the outside of it. Finally does manage to get the step around back over towards T1, and they do go down at 11th position.
That's the one thing they didn't want to give up Clib there, but they'll take that fight. They'll keep 3 up now as we check back on the south side of the circle. Navi trading back and forth with Divine. Orange is already out. The tab going to go down now to good shots from Levi's. Senya, you can see, still holding down that wall position. See if he can spot out Levi's. Levi's on the move, spots out Besto, but nicely done by Senya. Quickly taken care of, and they should be able to get that res and move on.
I love the modifications that we see Ints making every single round to really buy them the time and enough distraction to try to go for the play around this. It's still just a leapfrog, slowly and steadily back over towards the shack and trying to find some type of cover. Kickstart does manage to find under and not going to be able to get the flush due to the tree, but Kale still pushing forward onto this, thinks that maybe he can find a little bit of a line and a peak angle back over towards Zenith's positioning.
It's looking good from Zenith right now. They're giving it Kia everything they can handle. Now Kale, though, has managed to creep his way up, got himself a closer anchor position playing from the rock. He spots out two, doesn't like it. He's going to have to pull out, and it looks like he does so just in the nick of time. Good Molotov to come through from Zenith to take that position away from Kale.
Kale cannot go down here. If Kale gets dropped, that means the entirety of what we see Kia trying to plan is just going to come apart at the seams. Kia is doing a great job of being a distraction, staying alive in a very difficult position, and really drawing a lot of the attention from Zenith. So that means the fact that DXG can try to make a little bit more of a reposition as well. But Kia looks like they're firmly cementing up back along the road itself and maybe trying to go for a little bit of an attack back over towards DXG's position.
While all that was going on, we saw Navi try to make a push onto AAA's compound, and they get taken care of and taken down. Meanwhile, on the western side of this, Liquid with their three starting to spread out, take a lot of good lines of sight here, a lot of control being picked up, but Kia still going back and forth here with Zenith.
A little bit of a creep back around this. You can see that Kia did manage to get back along this hillside, and while this is going on, VP starting to make a play back over towards this as well. Finally, a couple of shots are going to connect, and that's going to be Roth that does go down. This could be the opening that we see Kia looking for this entire time. Punich back along this, trying to make sure he provides enough defense, but here comes VP walking up right back behind Kia. Kia now has to execute. They know that they have to make a push back over towards this, and the peak around the tree is not going to find either one of these teams. Kale playing it a little bit slower and a little bit more patiently, but wide out and in the open. Kickstart's trying to find some type of play to work with off of this, but it's just going to be Zenith stepping up through the smokes, starting to get a little bit more damage back over towards Kia as two of them do go down.
Really well supported there by Shinboy. As we now check with Indigo, they've got to deal with Virtus Pro on their south side here. They can't completely focus on the Zenith. You can see, I mean, things are going badly for Kia here, but they already got 7 kills, still 2 up, and they're managing to pull them out. Oh man, VP just got absolutely ripped to shreds there on that rotation. Zenith trying to see if they can come up here and maybe third party onto Kia, but Sun Young's just waiting and ready, sending a few shots over in their direction to keep the push from happening. But they still want to try to get a few shots over in that direction. You can see Zenith still has that high ground position. I mean, look, Liquid's sitting on 6 kills, all right? If they can get the win here, they'll be happy. They don't need to be greedy with this. As you see, ibiza going to find Punich.
It's not greedy. It's information gathering is what concerns me.
Oh my God.
Oh, Long K gets the spray back over towards one, looks back over towards another member of AA, gets enough damage, and finally gets another knock onto him. Could he single-handedly take down AAA from this positioning? No, he's not going to be able to get that one, but you can see that while this is going on, Zenith hears this, starting to make a play back over here, running along. It's going to be Kickstart and Shinboy.
Absolutely ringing the dinner bell there. As you see, Zenith's going to collapse right on top of that. Exactly what they should do. Zhankyu going to try to hold the push off. Svit does get res here. You can see Liquid coming in as well from the low side. AAA is the center of the sandwich here. As Shinboy gets a little bit too close, and AAA will hold off the push from Zenith. But can they do the same here against Liquid? Jayer's still down. He's going to be the one that feeds the information over to the remaining players for AAA that are still up. Good utility still in hand for Liquid here.
Ooh, that bounce was almost deadly there. Liquid do have a center of the circle and are really doing a great job of harassing AAA from this point. See, trying to get the res back over towards Jayer's, not going to get it. Svelte going to be able to get knocked back over towards the southern sections for this one. And it's just going to be Liquid just lining it up. Grenade upon grenade back over towards him. Good pickup, and that's going to be a Liquid walking away with a very needed round victory.
Oh boy, that is a big sigh of relief coming from the Liquid boys. Things obviously were not looking that great in the games before this, but man, that was a clutch performance from beginning to end from those boys, and that is going to do wonders for their confidence going into the last day.
Oh, Boro, let's be real. This was vital for Liquid. This is what they needed. Maybe this is how they start to right the ship. They start to pull everything back through. I thought that with the way that they were playing at in that position on the lower section of the hill, they might put themselves in a problematic positioning. But no, the fight, whenever Zenith managed to go down, was the most opportune moment for them to step forward. Good read on the positioning coming out from Liquid. You love to see it.
No, it was a fantastic performance for them from beginning to end. It was not an easy win.